What's up, YouTube? Um, I guess today I'll be talking about anime since I really don't have much to talk about. Excuse me. And, yeah. So, I mean, I'm a huge anime fan. Um, it's been that way for, a couple of years now. I wasn't always into anime. Originally, I didn't like it. So when I was younger, like growing up in the 90s, there were shows I watched that I didn't know was anime, but I liked them. So, One Piece, the 4 Kids version, which is trash, if I may say so myself. I watched both the Funimation version and the 4 Kids one, and 4 Kids one is trash, the Funimation one is awesome. The biggest one probably be Pokemon. Pokemon Indigo League is by far the best. This new Pokemon stuff is horrible. Another show that I watched would be Naruto, and that wasn't too much of it, only a little bit. And the show I watched very little of was Inuyasha. Mostly that was on Adult Swim on Toonami. I'm sure y'all remember that back in the day. Watching Toonami after all the other shows on Adult Swim, like Family Guy and Robot Chicken and all that. But so there was that, and another show. And if you say you A, didn't watch it, or B, watched it and didn't like it, you're lying. Sailor Moon is and was the shit. Back in the day, that was like the shit. Didn't matter if you were a guy or a girl, you still watched that stuff. But once I got older, like in grammar school and all that, it stopped becoming cool. And like the people who liked Naruto were like the weirdos, and you were such a loser if you watched that stuff. So it got ingrained in my head that stuff was for like losers and nobodies and stuff like that. And me being the dumb kid I was, always wanting to be popular, even though I never was popular. Like throughout all my years of schooling, I was never the popular kid, but I still tried. Failed epically. I got that stigma put in me in order animes for like losers and stuff like that, and that lasted all the way through grammar school and all the way through high school. It wasn't until I was out of high school for about 2 years that I actually got into anime. So I think I was about 20, and I was, of course, all against it, saying anime's gay, it's for fags, it's for losers, it's so dumb. Being a typical stupid ass I was, using all those different hateful words, even though I shouldn't have. Then my brother started hanging out with his friends who got him into it, because he was in the same boat as me, but his friends got him into it, and I used to make fun of him for it. Then he's like, will you shut up and sit down and watch this show? I'm like, hell no, that's stupid. And like he'd watch it in our family room. Like when our parents would go to bed or when they weren't out there, he'd put it on. And I remember sitting out there, just screwing around on my phone, and he put the show on. And at first, it didn't faze me at all. I stopped looking. Then, they would say something in the show, and I'd be like, what? And I'd, gradually, start peeking up from my phone and start gradually looking. And more and more, and day by day, I started paying more attention to the show. And my brother's like, do you want me to start it over? We can start over. And I was like, no, this stuff's stupid. He's like, I'm going to start it over. So he started it over. We watched the whole thing. And I ended up finishing that show by myself because I liked it that much. This show is what got me into anime, and personally my all-time favorite anime because I can relate to it somewhat. Um, the show was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The original Full Metal Alchemist is good. I mean, good's a bit of a stretch. It's decent, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is awesome. And I can kind of relate to that show because my mom is very sick. She's been sick for about 8 years now. So I can relate to that. And thankfully, my mom is still fighting. She's still strong, still going. She's fighting her sickness. But again, I have a mom who's sick. And then there's my father who, because of his work, and I'm not really going to get into what his work is, because of his work, he was never home. Birthdays, Christmases, Easters, Thanksgivings, all that. He was never there. So it was almost like my dad left us because he was never home. Like, I would get up for school and leave, and an hour or so, like, after I left, like, not even like an hour, like a half hour after I left, he would get home from work. And then he would sleep all day. And by the time I got home from school, because school for me was 8 hours every day, plus after school activities, so probably about 10 hours out of the day I was gone. So I'd get home at around 4:30. So I'd leave home at about 7. And I wouldn't get home till about like 5:30. Well, by the time I was home, he was already gone. And then his schedule flipped, and it went, he started working days. So he would leave an hour before we got up and left for school, and then would not get home until we were already in bed. Like, he worked long hours, and he worked, because back when we were that young, my mom didn't really work. She was a stay-at-home mom, and I love her for that because she gave me an awesome childhood. My childhood at home was pretty good. We didn't have much money, so my dad worked all this overtime. So, like I said, he'd leave before we got home from school, and then wouldn't get home until after we were in bed. So this is probably about an hour after we went to bed and were asleep. We would never even sleep for an hour, and that's when he would get home. And we'd be asleep all night when he would stay up all night because he worked all day. So he'd usually be up all night, relaxing from work, doing, catching up on what's going on in the news, maybe watching the one or two TV shows he did watch, because my dad's not big with TV. He does not watch TV shows like how everybody nowadays talking about, like Game of Thrones, which I'm not really into that. Even though I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm not into it. He was never home. But when he was home, he just never really got into it. Because like I said, he worked a lot, so he didn't really have time to keep up with TV shows. Plus, he's also kind of anti-technology. So he like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Dexter, stuff like that. He never got into it. He only watches a couple shows. And so, like, he'd watch his shows, and then we'd go to bed, and then again we'd wake up and be gone by the time we were getting up for school. So like, it would flip-flop like that. Like, he'd get home after we left for school, and then leave again before we even got home. Like, he worked long hours. Like, I'm talking 12, 13, 14-hour days. Like, my dad's worked such long days. Like my dad's worked 20-hour shifts before. And where he's at with his job right now, he's worked 48-hour shifts. Like didn't come home for 48 hours, so we didn't see him at all. Granted, this wasn't like how it was back then. It's gotten worse. He works more than he did back then, but he doesn't. It's now he's home more. When he doesn't work, when he doesn't have stuff to do at work, he's home. But when he works, he works. He's gone for long periods of time. So there's that, and then there's my little brother. I have a little brother who is a year and 3 days younger than me. So I was born, then my birthday came, I turned 1 year old, and 3 days after my birthday, my brother was born. So I have a little brother, and the funny thing is my brother right now, and we're both in our 20s, my brother is about 6'2". He's like 6'2", and about 220 pounds. He's a big dude. Whereas me, I'm about 5'8", 5'9", and I only weigh like 130. So I'm smaller than him. I'm not a small dude, but I'm about like average sized, whereas he's big. So my little brother is bigger than me. So Edward Elric is small, and he's got this huge big brother, or huge little brother. So we related to that. And like all the trials and hardships they go through, and that Ed and Al go through, can kind of be brought into mine and my brother's life because all the bullying and ridicule me and him went through growing up in where we grew up in. So yeah, that show started it all, and now I've got about 60 animes, over 60. I think I have about 70 now under my belt. I'm currently watching a couple animes that are currently ongoing. So far, my favorite anime that I'm watching right now has to be Black Clover, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but you have to get into the story. Like, right now, the anime is just starting, and I actually didn't even get introduced to the anime. Like, I didn't even find out about the anime until much later after it already came out, and the reason is excuse me, my brother does the anime loot crate thing, so he gets a crate every month. Well, 1 month, and I think this is back in August, I think it was. Yeah, it was August. No, September. It was September. So September, the crate comes, and of course in the crates are different things from different animes, like toys, shirts, hats, replicas of stuff, and you get one free manga in each one, and it's always the first issue of that manga. So that month, he opens it, and he's got all this cool stuff, and he pulls out the manga. That manga was Black Clover Volume 1. And my brother goes, there's some people who are saying it's kind of like Naruto. He's like, I'm thinking about reading it. He's like, you can read it if you want. And me, I'm a huge Naruto fan. Like, that's one of the animes I'm watching right now that's currently going, is Naruto. I'm a big Naruto fan. So I was like, I'll give it a try. I have, and of course, I got the English dubs because I don't speak Japanese. And whatever. I have all 9 issues that have been dubbed. And I think they're on issue 15 for the Japanese version of it. For the English version, they're at volume 9. I have all 9 volumes. I've read all 9 volumes. So I love it. It's my favorite manga so far. And the mangas I have Fairy Tail Volume 1. I have 1 through 9 of Black Clover. I have 1 through 4 of Blue Exorcist. And 1 through 4 of Tokyo Ghoul. So I have quite the collection of manga that started. I just got into manga this year. Black Clover is actually what started me getting into manga. I didn't really read manga. I more so watched animes, but when I read Black Clover, that's what got me into wanting to do manga or read manga. So yeah, I started reading it and I fell in love with Black Clover, and then I saw the show. They're making an anime out of it, so I'm watching that right now. So Black Clover is what I'm watching. Seven Deadly Sins. Ajin. Attack on Titan. I'm waiting for them to release the second season, which I think they released it in Japan already. I'm not sure. I have to look up on that. I'm really far behind it. Naruto, One Piece. Trying to think of what other ones. Magi. I've been watching Magi, which I don't know what they're doing with that anymore. I think that's all the current ones that I'm watching that are still going. I don't know if they finished it. Like, I don't know if season 2 is coming. They might have ended the anime. Is Yuri on Ice, and I love that show. I'm hoping there's gonna be another season coming, but yeah, that's pretty much the current ones that I'm watching right now. So, but yeah, I'm a huge anime fan. I've got, like I said, over 70 of them, and I can pretty much talk about any anime, almost any, because I've watched a ton of them. So, I mean, if you see this video and you like anime and manga, drop a comment and we can have whole discussions about it. And of course, I'm not one of those knuckleheads that's gonna be like, oh, you're dumb for liking that one, or yeah, or this one's better, you're so dumb. I understand people have different opinions on stuff, so we can have a polite discussion, and I might politely disagree, like, oh, yeah, if I do disagree with something, like, the only thing I would probably say is, oh yeah, I just seen that one, but I just really didn't get into it, and maybe you can get me into it. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, anime is really what's helped me deal with life in these past couple of years, because all the lessons it teaches, and people don't really want to accept anime or manga here in the U.S. Like, there's such a stigma around it, but what they don't realize is there's anime for all ages. Anyone can get into it. I guarantee it, there is an anime for every person. Every type of person, there's an anime that they'll connect with. Either the character is similar to them, or the story they can relate to, or something. Or it's the lesson it teaches will apply to their life. Anyone can get into it. I would advise you to give it a try, but you gotta get introduced to it the right way. And if you're interested in getting into anime, leave a comment. And I'll be more than happy to, get you into it and start you off on the right track. The way I would start off, like I said, was with Full Metal Alchemist. So you want to, and here's some tips for you if you want to get your friends into anime. Start off with one that's not too crazy. So something like Full Metal Alchemist would be good to start with. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I should say, because Alchemist is it's too crazy. Start out with some Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or maybe Yuri on Ice. Something that's not too crazy. Start them off, have them watch that whole series, and not something that's too long either. Like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood ain't too long. It's only got, I don't even think it has, I don't think it's only got 70 or so episodes, so it's not too long. Get them into something that's decently length. So once they finish that series, then you want their second series to watch, to show how, because the first series is what's going to hook them into it. Then they're like, oh, this is cool, I want to get into it. Then you want to show them how crazy anime can get. So you want to show them a show that's a little bit out there. So maybe, and this is what my brother did for me. So he started me out with my Alchemist Brotherhood. Then right after that, he introduced me to Soul Eater, and I love Soul Eater. It's one of my favorites. Then show him Soul Eater, show how wacky anime can get. And, just work up from there. And eventually, and when they get into it, they'll be coming to you for suggestions, and I can give you guys suggestions. So if you want to know animes to watch, let me know, because I've watched a bunch, and I can tell you my ratings of them. And I give fair. I'm not. I give pretty fair ratings. I don't think I've ever given a bad rating for an anime, really, except for Madoka Magica is one that I'm like, no, not my style. That ending, but yeah. I'm hoping people will see this video and want to talk to me about it. If you see this video and are interested, please share it. I hate to be one of those YouTubers that's does the popular disclaimer, but please like, comment, and subscribe and share the video. It would really mean a lot to me because I'm trying to break out on YouTube. Not so much to be famous, but just so I know that there are lots of people listening to me and hearing what I have to say, because I want to be there for people, and I want to help people in any way I can. And my channel is pretty much just a video similar to this. Eventually, I might do videos showing what I look like, and it'll be me talking on video. But right now, it's just gonna be recordings of my voice, so you can sit there, chill out, and listen to my voice, and get your thoughts going or whatever. But if you see this, please, please, please share it. Maybe I can gain a couple subscribers. As of right now, I don't think I have any. I'd have to check again. But I'm new to YouTube, and I'm just starting, and I'm hoping to gain popularity. Only because I want to reach out and help as many people as possible, and impact as many lives as possible, and help people out. Like, I want to impact as many lives possible. I want to be a source of positivity for people's lives. So, if you like this, please, please, please share it. Drop a like, so I know that you like what I'm saying. If you have any suggestions for videos that I should do in the future, I'm more than open to suggestions. So if you have a suggestion of something you want me to talk about or something like that, please drop a comment. Let me know. Talk to me. I have a Twitter page too, so if you don't want to talk in the comments, I don't think I'm going to talk in the comments. I'll probably just tell you this is my Twitter and all that. So let me know, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.